What's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of the Jedi Way here on the John Rocha channel. Very excited to be going live tonight. We got so much to talk about going on in the world of Star Wars. You know, sometimes people ask me, they go, why are you still doing a Star Wars show? Is there that much to talk about? Yes, there is. There is. If we give it 2 weeks between shows, you're amazed at how much topics come up. So we're going to talk about all the stuff here. Mandalorian and Grogu. We got some updates on all that stuff going on. We got some Maul Shadow Lord trailer stuff to talk about. We got some other interesting news and tidbits y'all might be curious about. So a lot here, and we are live. We're trying to go live every show we do here on the Jedi Way now. So we appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Let's introduce ourselves. I am John Rocha. Love being here, known in these parts as Rocha Fett. Joined as always by these two wonderful gentlemen here. The Smasher, Kevin Smets. How are you, Smetsy?
Rocha Fett, huh? Good to see everybody.
Yeah.
And
that was my Return of the Jedi recreation of.
I like that. That was good. You just got to miss you got to do the swinging kick that totally misses the face.
Oh, yeah.
And our third member of our crew, of course, and the newest member of our crew, which we're so happy to have on board, that is Frank Janisch. How are you, Frankie Numbers?
I'm doing swell. Glad to be here with you fellas. I have my drink of choice, which should tell you what kind of state I'm running in energy-wise. But hey, there's, like you said, John, there's a lot to actually talk about here this week.
I know.
With Star Wars.
I'm really
Robin. We got so much to talk about. Robin. we got the Playboy Playmates. They're gonna come in today.
What?
This is my horrible Howard Stern. I'm just excited. I got this thing. I got a Howard.
That looks good.
Although, you know, Howard, he always blocks his face like this on it because he hates his face. So he would be like,
yeah.
All right. So, Billy Joe, tell me about your time. Never mind.
You just got to put your hair all over it. Like he does.
Yeah.
Just put your hair all around it and stuff like he used to do. So,
Robin, where's the city? Get on the city.
Well, we are live. Already 50 of you joining us live right off the bat. I'm sure the numbers will increase. So thank you so much for joining us right off the bat. Please remember, Streamlabs Super Chats are open. Send in your questions, thoughts, and comments through Streamlabs Super Chats. Let us know what you think about it all. Streamlabs address is pinned in the chat description of the video as well. But since we got so much to get into, let's just start here, y'all. Mandalorian and Grogu updates. Well, apparently, Dave Filoni is directing scenes, or has directed scenes, for Mandalorian and Grogu. Very surprising to hear this news. A lot of people have been talking about this now, and it looks like it is happening. He has directed some scenes here for Mandalorian and Grogu. This is actually kind of a surprise, to be honest with you. I wasn't sure what the situation was with his involvement, but they're saying it was co-directed by him after all. Let's bring up the article here so we can all follow along and read this thing. This is what I'm getting this off of winteriscoming.net, which I think is a Game of Thrones thing. But either way, so this is the resulting collaboration. We're talking about all this kind of stuff here. But it looks as though, yes, the Mandalorian and Grogu stood a real chance of stealing a Thunder, Mandoverse, all this kind of stuff. But yes, so here we go. The fact that it's been revealed so late in the game, expected for, and Filoni is co-directing this movie. So this is interesting, and they're saying the fact that it has now been revealed so late in the game, just months prior to the release of the film, that Filoni actually was involved in the Mandalorian and Grogu, directing its second unit, strikes me as exceedingly odd, given that Filoni was also recently announced as a co-head of Lucasfilm in general. It wouldn't surprise me much to find out this is a post-hoc, late in the game edition meant to smooth over any turbulence between Favreau and Filoni. So, Kevin, you hear this news. Does this make sense to you that he would co-direct this particular film and that they're revealing it this late? What do you think about this?
I think co-directing is a strong word, right? You just
okay.
Unit. Yeah. So he's shooting close-ups of the hands and establishing shots. I don't think he's like doing full scenes or like that him, they're teaming up with Fabs like the Russo brothers would do. So I think right now, let him cut his teeth before he gets his, big Avengers movie going, his, Star Wars Avengers movie going. So if he needs to, he's like an intern. He's going into class right now and he's learning how to, work with the real actors. I'm kidding. Like he works with real actors all the time, obviously doing his animation and stuff. And I do think that the direction on Clone Wars and a lot of the animation stuff is very, very good. So I'm excited to see what he does. But yeah, I think it's a little bit strong worded and people are just excited to jump on any news. But co-directing tells me that he would be working with, the like Sigourney Weaver and but I don't think he's doing that. I think he's working with the extras and stuff like that and establishing shots, which we'll get into later, that don't include a volume and stuff like that. So that's how I interpret it. What do you guys think?
What do you think, Frank?
Well, yeah, I agree. I was like co-directed. I was like, okay, is this going to say directed by Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni? I don't think so. I mean, other people have stepped in all their Star Wars movies and directed stuff. You know, I mean, you go way back to Steven Spielberg, right, on Episode 3. You even have Tony Gilroy with Rogue One, but you still saw Gareth Edwards on the credits, you know, and just Gareth Edwards directed by,
or George Lucas with Return of the Jedi. Just always
right, even honestly, even that,
or
you're right.
Richard McQuarrie.
So yeah, I think that's kind of interesting wording. Maybe it is to get some clicks, sure, but I would be curious to see if we, you know, I imagine we'll find out one or two things that he directed. I wonder if they are scenes that tie into things that he is doing, that he was directing, that if there is some sort of crossover that would work with what he's doing, whether it's in a TV show or a film. I don't know, but yeah, kind of interesting.
Yeah, I find it to be fascinating because I agree. It's kind of it's coming out, but this isn't being picked up by a lot of people, right? It was in the Empire article, but you don't see people doing a lot of think pieces about this stuff, right? They're just kind of go, well, this is interesting. What is it? But what is the co-CEO of Lucasfilm doing shooting second unit direction? You know what I'm saying? It seems like an odd situation. James Gunn is the co-CEO of DC. He is directing his movies, right? So it just seems odd that Filoni would do this. He's already directed a series. So why would he need to be on the set to, as you guys said so eloquently, to shoot hands or to shoot action sequences? I think what Frank is alluding to might be the kind of key into this, is that there are scenes that or situations in that movie that might tie into something he's got going down the road. And maybe there's a feeling like, I want the aesthetic to match what my aesthetic will be when I finally get to either this season 2 of Ahsoka or this Phantom movie that is supposedly on the back burner that he's going to do down the road. But I just find it to be interesting. And I didn't know there was issues between Favreau and Filoni. I haven't heard anything concrete about that. So what do you guys think about the writers speculating on that?
Oh, I think that the left brain, right brain, I think people are just looking for something to get their hands on and chew. I don't know if there's any dissent on set.
Drama sells, you know, it's
right,
you know,
right.
So it's everyone. When you work with somebody, you're going to have these little quibbles, and of course, you know, the hot sheets will drum it up to be more than what it really is, just for click. So that's just the internet for you, I think.
Right. What do you think, Kev? Same thing?
I think they're making a mountain out of a molehill, probably, but that's what gets clicks, right? Not hey, everything's going well.
I mean, we're talking about it.
But
so
hey,
that's a fair point.
Also the other thing with Filoni, I think maybe he just wants some live action reps, you know, directing live action, just because he's still fairly inexperienced compared to just even Favreau, right? So I mean, it doesn't hurt to get more reps if you can do it, and especially, you know, if you're like one of the head honchos now. So.
Right. Another element of this we should move on to, which is also part of which also came out here, is that Star Wars Holocron said the volume was not used for the Mandalorian and Grogu. Only practical sets and selective use of green screen were used. But Ben Travis pushed back on this and said about saying this because it was reported in Empire Magazine. He said, no, we didn't. They said they used a lot more practical sets, etc., on this one compared to the show. It's unclear whether the volume was used in some capacity or not, but we don't state that there's no volume at all. So it seems like there's a little, you know, moving around of what's going on here on that set. Frank, what are your thoughts on this? Did they use the volume, not use the volume, or did they let it slip and they're trying to cover it up? What do you think's happening here?
That would be wild if they didn't use the volume. I mean, that's just like another tool for any type of situation, you know, whatever scene you're shooting. Like if Filoni is shooting on the volume, and you got Favreau shooting, you know, live action set pieces somewhere. I mean, even if it's just shots that are flying in space, we've seen, you know, cockpit kind of outside angles into the ship with the volume around because it puts the actors right in that environment. So I think there is a benefit to, I think we've always said, you know, you got to use it very smartly in movies and in TV shows. But and not be over reliant. Maybe that's what this is really all about, is they didn't over rely on the volume. So I like the idea that they didn't completely shoot this thing on the volume. It'll be interesting to see how the final product shows on the screen.
Yeah. Kevin, what are your thoughts on this?
They shot it in Zack Snyder's backyard, actually, alongside that Green Lantern scene.
He totally would shoot in his backyard.
Happy anniversary to Justice League, Zack's version.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Even if it's used a little less. To me, I just think that's one of the many sins, even though I like the Obi-Wan show. I like the movie version that we did better just because it had this actual Star Wars music in it.
Yeah.
But the over-reliance on the volume, you just start to I remember when I first saw the volume shots and I heard about the technology, I was blown away. And it's like that's when like the Disney Plus was new and Mandalorian show was new, and you're just like, wow, that's cool technology. And but all of a sudden you can start the more behind the scenes specials you saw on it, the more you can start to see it. Like you would always try to find that horizon line where the bottom of the screen is. And eventually you start to like see it, right? So that's why Andor popped way more like when they were on set. So even if they did use it sometimes, which I'm sure, like, dude, I think starship shots for sure. Like, why not? Like, so then the actors can actually see where they're flying. You know what I mean? Like that helps the actors' performance. I think that works. But if it's minimized, especially for like scenes that are supposed to be outside, will avoid that overall kind of that dull / like you just can kind of tell video gamey look. And so I think that bodes well for the movie. It needs to. I mean, they need to do things in this movie that make it. I think it's going to involve the sound design and the music, and the overall presentation of the visuals to make it feel like it was worth going to a movie theater to see it and not just watching it on Disney Plus.
Well, also something they always talk about with the volume is they have to do so much pre-production in order to use the volume properly, and that kind of would almost kind of lock you into a certain type of thing if you're shooting on the volume, and it doesn't leave you much leeway in post to fix things that maybe you wouldn't otherwise be able to if you're just using the volume a lot.
Miguel Fernandez was broke this thing down on StarWarsNewsNet.com, and he said here that here's the quote from the article: the series used volume LED walls extensively for reactive in-camera backgrounds, cutting costs and accelerating production. But the Mandalorian and Grogu production brought massive practical sets, more Phil Tippett studio stop motion, puppets galore, and expensive CG characters, all designed for IMAX. And as I said, Ben Travis clarified on Twitter that they never actually said the film didn't use the volume. And Miguel Fernandez is speculating, saying there's no way they didn't use the volume in a majority of the movie. They just had a larger budget this time around for the other scenes. I mean, this film was shot almost in secret inside the Manhattan Beach sound stages for months. So that would seem to indicate that, they shot a lot on the volume and the rest more practical effects, which
I knew I saw Sigourney Weaver over there at Starbucks in Marina Del Rey.
John Cena was down here in San Diego getting a Starbucks at the local mall. Someone just shot a video of him just
really? Which mall?
Yeah. The Fashion Valley. Yeah, Fashion Valley.
Right here?
I
couldn't see him.
Oh, God.
Come on. You knew I was going to say that.
Yes. Well, I think you'll, you know what, it'll be about how it looks, right? And as I said, I watched the trailer recently in the theater when I went to see a movie last week, and it plays in the theater. That trailer plays in the theater. It looks great. Looks epic in the theater.
Well, along with Hoppers. I saw it with my daughter.
Yes, Hoppers. That's what it's over. Yeah. And you're just like, wow, this looks really good, this trailer. So, but there was more.
Sounded good.
Yeah, sounded good too. But there was more footage, Kevin and Frank, that dropped over the Oscars, right? And before we get to that footage, I want to ask you guys what you thought about this. Kevin, you first here. There was a little bit with Sigourney Weaver and Grogu on the chair there, and Pedro Pascal sitting there with that flower on his shirt. This, I feel, didn't go over as well as they were hoping it was going to go over, and I don't know that it did anything to sell the movie that much more than anything else. So what did you think, Kevin? Couldn't clap.
Can't clap. Yeah. Poor guy can't clap, and Conan's dissing him. I always think it's funny because, like, I think half the people in that room don't even know what a Baby Yoda is or Star Wars. Probably. So it's always like that, just kind of like courtesy clap or courtesy laugh that most of my friends give me whenever I make my stupid dad jokes. Let's be honest. It was fine. More. I always like when they, give more, love to I like when Kermit the Frog or Miss Piggy's involved. Like just a little love to kind of the more geek stuff. I think Ted was on there once. I'm trying to think of another animated character. I feel like Ted. I think Ted like delivered an award or something.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I think the Looney Tunes did once as well. Bugs Bunny and Daffy. I think they did.
Documentary short winners on that on the Warren Gosling didn't like that they had to accept the award from Kermit the Frog, but
that's right. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
Kermit the Frog here, and the winner is the bloodshed in Burma. But yeah, anything that's gonna get this movie out there, they got to start hyping it up, you know.
Yeah. I mean, she did say, "Get away from her, you bitch." So she did incur the alien line, Frank. So did this work at all? Did you like this, or did it kind of overstay its welcome by the time the bit was over?
It was all right. You know, the alien line was fun.
Right.
I thought it was. I actually never thought about the fact that Grogu can't touch his hands together. I was like, oh yeah, I guess look, he can't. That's pretty funny.
Right.
And also, I think kind of the reason why it doesn't work as well as other examples that Kevin has said is that Grogu can't talk back, so there can't be like a dialogue back and forth. So like you kind of it's just like a one-way transfer of someone just saying lines, and then Grogu's like, and there's Kate Hudson. What is she gonna do? So
you're right.
It was. I did think it was interesting that Conan said Grogu and not Baby Yoda because that's like the more popular term. So I wonder if someone was like, "Hey, when you mention him, just say Grogu, don't say Baby Yoda."
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was fine, and I thought it, but I did think it went on a little longer than it needed to. Sigourney's timing wasn't as tight as like maybe a few years ago, and so you just kind of felt like it was there to do it. It was that synergy thing because it was ABC and Disney, Star Wars, all that. But I think it could have been a lot funnier of a bit. But yeah, we got to see her utter her famous line. But I mean, Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito and Michael Keaton did it way better. Like that's how you do it, right? And so it just felt like this was straining to feel topical.
Was that last year when Michael Keaton's like giving them in the eye in the crowd?
Yeah, I think it was last year when he was like,
that was last year. Oh my gosh, it's forever ago.
Yeah. Also, some updates here because we're going to say this is the Mandalorian and Grogu section of the show. The Writers Guild has now vetted work on the Mandalorian and Grogu and concluded on its website officially that the co-writers of the movie are Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and Noah Clore. Clore has been part of the Mandoverse writers' room for a few years and was first credited for his work on the Book of Boba Fett, where he was a staff writer for 7 episodes. He also co-wrote with Favreau the 3rd episode of The Mandalorian season, The Convert, of season 3. So, but this is the first time their name is appearing related to the movie. So it's interesting to hear that kind of stuff as well. And there was new footage that got dropped in this at the Oscars as well in a little 60-second bit. Anything different, anything new, anything stood out to you guys? You saw more with the buttons. We saw a little more action. We saw some back and forth a little bit more. The battle with him and Rada, there was a couple scenes of that. So did you guys think any of the new footage did any
more footage of the buttons? More of him pressing the buttons? Is there any more footage of him eating and then getting the side eye for not eating?
And then eating the cookie? Right. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't catch all of the Oscars. Like, you did like a live stream, huh, Rocha?
Yes, I did. 4.5 hours of the Oscars. Yes, it was intense.
Do you have any bathroom breaks or what?
Yeah, I always take a bathroom break if I need to. Fuck yeah, you're watching my show. I'm gonna go take a bathroom when I want to.
For me, I could stay here for the entire thing and not have to get up.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't really notice any of the new footage, so I'll let Frank comment on that.
What'd you think, Frank? Did you see any of the stuff? Did anything stood out to you?
Not really, and like I'll say this, I think I do need to see the trailer in theaters. I think that'll help change my tune. Because right now, just seeing it on a smaller screen or just on TV, it's not really hitting for me, as I've stated in the past. So I think, and I've said this too, I think I'll be confident. Like when I go and watch it in theater, I'm gonna like it, enjoy it a lot. It might feel different. So I think that's kind of just where I'm at right now. Once I go to the theater and I don't know, maybe see Project Hail Mary, I think hopefully it plays before that one, and then. Maybe I'll feel different about it. I expect that I will. So
right. Yeah, there's a little bit more in the trailer that I thought was fun to look at. There's also this that got released, which is an interesting shot. What does this mean? Like, what is this going to lead us to? Where are we going to go with this? So there's a lot of people speculating about the bird on top of the cage, if this is the big gang leader. But I've also heard
the bird's the gang leader. The bird
No,
is the
that's
gang.
the bird, yeah. Bird.
The T-birds, yeah. The T-birds are back, and it's recycling.
Kill
I
him.
want my fucking money.
At the end of the new footage, though, you had one of the Hutts speaking how they were going to kill or torture Din, and that Grogu was next. So there is this kind of. I felt that from this 60-second spot, there was more danger, more menace behind it a little bit, and so I thought that was cool to see. But I also saw people speculating that the big villain may be someone we've already seen in the trailer. That the actual big villain may be a twist. And so I don't know if that's the way. I'm not going to spoil it here, but that's what I was reading as well. So I wonder if that's the path they're going to walk down. Could be interesting to see if that's where it's going to go. So I don't know. If they want to open the door to that kind of stuff, we will see. Do you guys have any speculations on any of the stuff that you've seen or heard about the film so far? Anything that's maybe making you less excited or more excited about it before we wrap up everything here on the Grogu?
I don't know if this would make other people happy, but like even seeing the trailer in the theater, like it didn't scare my daughter, even those like creature stuff. I don't think she wants to see it. I don't think she's ready for that.
Right.
She'd rather see K-pop Demon Hunters for a 50th time, but
but I will say
it gave me vibes of just that adventure, like of Solo, a Star Wars story, which I really liked. And I know a lot of people don't like that. And notwithstanding if you wanted someone to do more of an impersonation of Han Solo, but the overall movie and the adventure and all of that, it just, even in the trailer for 2.5 minutes, it just felt like I was, it felt that vibe of like that adventure vibe. So it really does make me kind of got, like you said, I think Frank, once you see it in the theaters, it might help get you a little more excited for it. So you just got to go see a movie and see it. Yeah.
Well, what'd you think of what Kathleen said before we leave the Mando and Grogu thing? We didn't talk about this because it kind of came out in the tail end of our show last time, but she revealed that Grogu doesn't speak in the movie. And she said, Grogu is another perfect example of a character that has to emote and to have feelings and you have to feel connected to, and he never speaks a word. Fans will love Grogu on the big screen, and he never says a word. So she kind of revealed somewhat of a big spoiler because people have been waiting for him to talk. So do you think this was a blunder by Kathleen? Do you think this was on purpose to kind of tamp down the expectations? What are your thoughts on this? And do you like it if it is true that the Grogu's not going to say a word?
I think they've probably made the decision. This is just me speculating purely. That I think they've made the decision that Grogu's never going to talk.
Yeah.
So I think, so when she says it, it's just kind of like common knowledge around the conversations she has daily or had daily, around the project, and just being like, yeah, Grogu's never going to talk. And so when she says it, it's not like anything brand new to her, at least, or to anybody making it. I just think they've already made that decision. And for a while, Grogu is not going to be talking. And maybe, I kind of actually hope he never talks. Kind of like we'll never like know origins of certain
he's
things.
Gonna
like
talk, and I know what he's going to say.
Oh,
okay.
What is he going to say, Kevin?
Din Djarin will be dying in his arms, and his first words will say, "This is the way." Count it.
As he's dying?
First words, and it won't be in reverse talk. Okay. Vandar from KOTOR is a Yoda species. He didn't reverse talk. Yoda just had a affliction, probably. But the first words or maybe the final words if he's dying too. Because where the heck is he in the sequel trilogy?
Yeah.
I kind of like I hadn't thought about that in a while. I'm like, wait, where is he? So I think maybe one of his only words will be "This is the way." Eventually, when he gets to it.
Yeah. I do want to bring up
I have a bad feeling about this. Squeak, squeak. And I have no pupils. Have you ever seen photoshopped images of what Yoda would look like without pupils, or what Grogu would look like with pupils? No. Yoda has pupils.
Oh yeah, I've seen that stuff. Yeah, it is it's freaky.
Maybe Rocha, you could pull it up.
It's creepy. I can find it.
Yeah, you think about it, you never think about it, but Yoda has very human eyes. So people have photoshopped Grogu with Yoda style human eyes.
Interesting. I have to take a look for that for sure.
Work Slack. I'll be right here, but
okay, I'm going to bring this back up again. I'm going to read what the description is because I want to make sure this is. So this shows Grogu in a bird cage next to one of the Imperial warlords, played by Johnny Coyne, who is in The Mandalorian season 3. He is sat having a conversation with an Iktochi with a broken horn. it would appear that the Imperial remnant manages to capture Grogu at some point in the film, separating him from Din Djarin. So, and it says it would appear this warlord is working with the galaxy's criminal underworld. You don't officially know the name of this Imperial, but Jon Favreau teases in the interview that he recently gave, you'll like his character name when you hear it. Perhaps it belongs to a legacy character that we haven't seen yet in Star Wars. So, I mean, I think it's an interesting. Oh, there you go. Oh my God, that's a 421 if I ever saw one.
Yeah.
That is a 420 Yoda. Oh, dude.
Oh man.
Oh, that's
What does this button do, dude?
oh, that's why he's always hungry, man.
Yeah, exactly. He's got the munchies. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he's got the
and then here's Yoda with the Grogu eyes. So.
Yeah, that's
right.
On another drug right away.
Yeah.
So I wonder, like, how many years does it take for the pupils to finally get adjusted?
Yeah. As long as it took to adjust it from the out of focus thing you just did, which is interesting. It took only a few seconds, so you can see the eyes and the pupils for sure. Yeah, so we're gonna get warlords, we're gonna get the Imperial stuff, and clearly it's gonna be about capturing Grogu. He's gonna be like a hot potato, I imagine, in this movie, where everyone's gonna try to get him, and Din's got to keep trying to save him. But I hope the next trailer will give us a little more of what's going on with the New Republic and what's going on with the Empire, like all the stuff that they're connecting to with Din Djarin and how he's going to play it out. So we'll see. For sure.
I think Rhoda's going to factor into it too. I don't think that he's only in one scene. I think he's a piece to that puzzle.
Yeah, I don't know if you cast Jeremy Allen White and turn the character and keep the character as a villain. I wonder if maybe there'll be a twist where he kind of goes on the Empire's, or sorry, on the Resistance side and joins Din Djarin and Grogu.
And forgive me, those two Hutts that are from Book of Boba Fett, which I love, and I love how they're very gangster mob style.
Yeah.
What are they in relation to Jabba? Are they his like uncles or aunts or cousins or second cousins, dog trainers, roommate from college? Like, I wonder if Rhoda just hates his family. You know what I mean? And it's like, my dad was all in that about that life. I don't want that life. That's why I'm out here fucking doing push-ups and sit-ups and
Well,
I don't think he wants that gangster life.
They're a pair of twins, and they are cousins to Jabba the Hutt. So they're Jabba the Hutt's cousins.
So he probably hates his cousin, man, and so
could
maybe that's the key. Is like, we need Rhoda will be part of that.
Look at you two sloppy bitches. Do you even lift? I can't be listening to you all. You even lift, bro?
You lift, bro?
I mean, that's very possible. You might shame them and go his other direction. It's very possible, for God's sake. We will see. We will see. All right. Anything more we should say on Mandalorian and Grogu? We spent 25 minutes on this film.
Wow.
Shall we move on? Anything else we want to talk about?
I'm good.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on to another big thing that happened. Let's talk about this. The Maul Shadow Lord new trailer dropped, the second trailer. Super intense, very dark. A lot of imagery here with Maul, with the new Jedi. There's so much that was shown in this thing that I thought was incredible fun to look at. Frank, what stood out to you in this trailer? What'd you think of this trailer? Did it work for you? Did it get you even more excited? What are your feelings on this trailer?
Yeah, there's some badass imagery. Looking forward to all the action sequences. Obviously, I thought they showed a little too much of the lightsaber duel.
Okay.
I thought they showed. I thought it kept going, and I'm like, oh wow, they're still giving us more. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you sure you watched the Maul trailer, right? You didn't watch any of Clone Wars season 6 or 7, like I tricked you that one time.
Anyways,
I'm kidding.
I think the story will probably be very. I mean, they laid it out. He's looking for revenge. Okay, it's kind of his deal. All right, and then he, there's another, apprentice or another young Jedi in the run, and so we've kind of seen that a little bit with Ezra, but let's see it in this situation. That could be interesting or different. But visually, I think it's really gonna kick ass. So I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Yeah.
What'd you think there, Kevin? From what we saw here, we had more with Darth, of course. Sam Witwer voicing Darth Maul as well. We had more with Devin Azara, the young Twi'lek Jedi who is there, and clearly we saw from the teaser trailer that she is exploring her feelings about people around her who have died and her anger at the Empire, and now Maul is trying to get her on his side, and we see that her master, who is voiced by Dennis Haysbert, is like, we can fight alongside him, but we can never trust him. And near the end, there's even a sequence during the fight with the villain there on the ship, like where he's defending her. He's like protecting her from getting killed, and they're fighting together and all of this. So, and almost taking advantage. She's like, I can't kill the whole Empire. And he just smiles and looks at her. So like, did we get more of this relationship and the dark turns it could go on? Dare I say the word grooming that could be going on here in this thing? Yeah.
Well, Sam Witwer's voice is just amazing. I want him to read The Art of War, like in the Sith voice, in his Maul voice. I mean, you know, you guys knew my thoughts from the first trailer, but I have since come around on that because then I realized, like, no, this is part of that overall canon of Maul storytelling. It would be weird to do a brand new style of animation, whether it would be 2D or all of a sudden it feels like Visions, where it's not as connected to the Bad Batch and to Clone Wars. So I finally accepted that. But the storyline, I love in Game of Thrones. I couldn't wait to start rooting for Jaime Lannister. For some reason, it's like when a heel finally turns face or is like the anti-hero, you really love rooting for them. And it's kind of like that love you have when a heel finally turns face for the first time in wrestling. They get a lot of love, right? Like Roman Reigns is a heel for 5 years. Finally turns good. Now he's like one of the loudest pops of the night, right? So with Maul, I just love that, like some of his one-liners that, like when he was a villain, you're like, oh god, now he's trying to kill Obi-Wan again. Oh man, like poor Ahsoka. But now it's like when someone's like, where is Maul? And he's like, I forget the line, but he's like, I'm right here. And you're just now you can root for him. Like the trailer did a good job, by the way, of making him the protagonist. I think the first trailer didn't. The first trailer was like, well, who are we fucking rooting for on this? This one was like, no, it's going to be good to be bad. We get to root for the bad guy because he wants to take down the Empire. And, you know, deep down, if he would have been successful, who knows what the future would have been. You know, Alderaan would still be around kicking, you know? So, and billions of lives. So it's like, it's cool to be on the side. Sometimes, you know, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And I think as an audience, it's going to be really fun to be rooting for the bad guy.
Yeah. Frank, what are your thoughts on this? Did you already hit what you wanted to talk about in terms of the trailer?
Yeah, but actually, I wanted to address one of the questions in the chat from WVU Grad 00. He says, one question I heard raised is, Maul says the Empire tried to kill him, not Palp/Emperor. Why does he say the Empire? And I think because it's a much more devastating blow to take down this huge thing that Palp built than to just kill Palpatine, because the Empire will, in some form or fashion, continue on. But if he can kill this entire orchestrated thing that Palps has put on the galaxy, I think that's much more, you know, he has a larger focus, which I think kind of is telling about Maul's mindset.
Yeah, for sure.
You see Doom Gaming's comment. I didn't even think about that. You think we might get Vader versus Maul? I'm trying to. Sometimes I get my timelines confused, but yeah. I mean, this is before A New Hope, right? This is like after, dude. Like, could you imagine? Like, they've never squared off. That is
Prime
match.
Vader. Basically,
it's Hogan versus Austin at WrestleMania before we never got it. That would be interesting. Also, but you really, it's interesting. But like, who, you know, they're both kind of broken down robots. First of all,
yeah.
So you can't really say that one would have the advantage over the other. That is an interesting thought. I hadn't thought about that. I wonder if they do that. I feel like that would be all over the marketing, though.
And aren't they both like apprentices of the Emperor? So it would be like fighting to be the favorite child of Daddy, you know, and also in a way, you know, because I think the reason.
Imagine a scene of Palpatine just saying, Kevin, like, you know, it's time for you to take care of a piece of my past.
But Kevin, I don't think they need to put, if Vader does have a little spot here, I don't think they need to put him in any of the marketing, because this thing's already selling on its own with just Maul.
It's true.
It's doing just fine. And what a pop, what a surprise that would be without any marketing, without any leaks, whatever, until you watch the show and there's Vader in one of the
But
last
imagine that trailer if you just like, it's like
they'll recut a TV spot
and then all of a sudden like black hole, you hear the breathing, and then you just see Maul turn around, give a slight smirk like, let's fucking go. Slammed a logo, bro. Come on.
I think if they were in trouble, if people weren't responding positively to these trailers, I think they would trot out the Vader thing because it's like, oh, we got to get people to watch.
If
right?
in fact that is true.
But then
right, exactly.
Why does Vader have to be in everything too, right? So
I mean, sure. But I think that's one of the things we would want this one.
Vader, time period, right?
Shawn another wrestling reference Rocco will appreciate. Vader is like Shawn Michaels. Like whenever ratings were bad, they're like, "Hey, Shawn, could you come in here and do the main event?" Like, ratings are bad. They'll be like, "Vader, we need you to come in here and do a cameo."
Yeah, we need to bring The Rock back again.
Yeah.
Here are the WB. Oh, sorry. Doom Gaming was mentioning the episode titles. Let's take a look at the episode titles. Here they are. Dark Revenge, Sinister Schemes. Those are the first two that are going to come out on April 6th. Then Whispers in the Unknown. Let me see if I can make these a little bit bigger here. Whispers in the Unknown, Pride and Vengeance, Inquisition, Night of the Hunted, Call to the Oblivion, The Creeping Fear, Strange Allies, and then the finale,
Creeping
which is
Fear, I think was the working title for one of the movies. I can't remember.
Okay.
Why does that seem familiar? Now I bet the searches will just yield this, but I feel like The Creeping Fear is an homage to, or maybe an old cereal.
Yeah.
Not cereal that you eat, but like a cereal on the show. Yeah, now it's taken over, and now it's all the and now it's all part of Maul Shadow. But hold on, this might be it. Deep cut. I knew it. I am smart. I'm not stupid. One of the episodes in the upcoming animated show Maul features a deep cut reference only hardcore Star Wars fans.
Whoa. Okay.
Ahead of its premiere, the episodes were released. As the outlet explains, back in 2004, the third film in George Lucas' prequel had many rumored titles before the official one was announced, and the most prominent one was being The Creeping Fear. I fucking
wow.
Awesome.
Wow. Yeah. WVU grad in the chat said that like 2 minutes ago, Kevin. So whatever.
Oh, sorry.
Well, I think a lot of people.
I'm scrolling up. I'm going to see the timestamp on that, but I'm glad he got it. There it is. 5:38. All right, fine.
If you look at chapter 9, it says Strange Allies, right? And he is a Sith, right? It's the rule of 2.
Mm-hmm.
Is this him killing her master and taking her on as his apprentice?
Ooh, nice.
By the 9th episode, Strange Allies, in the situation, or does she pull into Ahsoka Tano and rejects him like Ahsoka rejected the Jedi Council after she was cleared from that bombing? Is this the situation? Yeah. Oh, right. Because we don't see her, right, in the subsequent episodes further in the timeline. So where would she have gone? So it might be interesting what her journey is with Maul here by the end.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
She hangs out with Grogu.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, exactly.
Right,
we will see. We will see. So yeah, I mean, just speculation on what it could be, but I think it's interesting. I like the title names, and I like where it's going. Yeah. So, and they said that the creators of the show said they want to create a new visual identity for Maul that they're exploring in there, and like apply it to certain elements of Star Wars. That could be really interesting as well. I mean, this already looks like one of the baddest things Star Wars has done in a long time.
Yeah.
Animation wise, especially because I mean, look, the Bad Batch was great. This doesn't look anywhere near. The Bastard was anywhere near as dark as this, and that's why I like that they're leading into. I mean, the shots of him standing in the fucking doorway there, almost looking like Vader did in Rogue One.
Yeah,
you know what it's going to evoke, and Frank remembers because we were living together at the time. That scene, remember, when Maul has his hallway scene.
Yeah,
in the final episodes of the Clone Wars with the door, he doesn't have a saber. He's just killing all the stormtroopers, and when he's like calmly making his escape. We're gonna get vibe that if that's the vibe of like his every scene that he's in, like I'm so excited for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've turned around on it, Kevin. Clearly, you've turned around on it.
I really have. I mean, again, a lot of that was just the way they were like overhyping it, and then just my ill-fated, like I didn't think about it, especially me who has that like super watch where I like to watch. I'm watching everything like. It would feel weird. It's either live action or this Clone Wars style. But and it is an upgrade. It is the Clone Wars animation. If Bad Batch improved on it and Rebels improved on that style, and now we're back to the more hard contour edges, but it's like more artistic. It's definitely, improved tenfold.
Yeah.
But saying it's a shockingly brand new style of animation was just kind of a weird flex. But I listen, you're allowed in fandom to change your mind, and sometimes that's what marketing does, right? The marketing has to go out there and change your mind about a movie, just like Spider-Man Brand New Day. Like that trailer came out today, and like blown away by it. But like leading up to it with just the leaks, and just they were just taking their time, and there was no real trailer. Or Mandalorian and Grogu, when they did that idiot Super Bowl spot, that didn't move the needle for me. And when I saw the trailer in the theater, that, you know, like that's why there's marketing. That's why they spend millions of dollars on it. And so I'm not above saying like, I was underwhelmed when it first came out because of the early internal expectations, but seeing and hearing more, and then just remembering why I loved Maul in the Clone Wars in the first place, and Sam Witwer's portrayal of him, is icing on the cake. So consider me super excited for it. I would love for them to eventually branch out, like I showed you those Clone Wars style animations, like Luke, Han, and Leia. I mean, that would be so sick to have a series in that time era, because we're really running out of real estate here in between Sith and A New Hope. But I'm looking forward to it.
That's for sure. Let's take a look. One more thing. I want to look at some of these images from the trailer and get you guys' thoughts on this. Polygon did a nice breakdown of 3 wild new details revealed in the latest trailer for Star Wars Maul, giving a shout out to Amy Hart, who wrote this. Devin Azara, the ruler too. As I speculated before, together we destroy the Empire. The trailer cuts to Devin speaking to a reptile-like companion about Maul. He's the one that says we can't, you can fight alongside him, but he can't be an ally. So this, she's said, we've speculated before whether Devin may be Disney's answer to Darth Talon, a character who's only appeared so far in the decanonized Star Wars extended universe, where she serves as Maul's apprentice. So that could be the way it goes, as I said, by episode 9. The 11th brother and Marek, I thought these were some incredible shots, and what they speculate, the true identities of the 11th brother and Marek have yet to be revealed, but considering that Maul Shadow Lord comes so shortly after Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, and both the 11th brother and Marek are thought to be former members of the Jedi Order, maybe Maul Shadow Lord will reveal some key details. So could these guys be former Jedi? That could be interesting to see if that's how it plays out with these 2 characters. What do you guys think of this?
I think it's interesting that they've been fairly prominent in the trailer, because we've seen them before. We've seen how their stories end. And so we know that they're going to come out of this. Exactly. So we know they're going to come out of this. It's just, and then like, what does that further do for Maul in terms of his motivations, and how does he handle, I don't know if you can say a loss. We have to wait and see how that all pans out. But it is really interesting that, they've been showing them a lot. I'm curious to see what they have in store for them, because in Ahsoka we didn't really get a whole lot from Merrick. I mean, he doesn't. He says like 17 words or something like that, and so, and then the other brother, Ahsoka slice and dice that dude, which was sick. We'll see. I don't know.
America's full of smoke.
Come on, Kevin.
Right, I remember that. Right, yeah. Oh Jesus. God, yeah, that's true. What are your thoughts on this, Kevin? Do you like that they're focusing on Merrick and the 11th brother? They could be former Jedi. That could be an element of all of this.
If we get a backstory that adds to that, it's cool. But like Frank's right. Like I would like when a character is going to survive, takes away a little bit of the stakes. And now like half these people are going to be alive at the end, and so it leaves very little room for the others. You kind of know what their fate's going to be. So I've been wrong before, but I'm interested to see more about, anything that just ties things together, and then it's anything that enriches another show. So like when you see Merrick now, if you watch it in my super watch order, when you get to Merrick later, you'd be like, oh, hey, you'd be you'd be Leo GIF on the GIF. Sorry, GIF. You'd be the Leo meme pointing at the screen.
Well, the thing when you look at the Devin Azara situation, right? If what I say comes to pass, that she becomes, and other people saying it, I'm not taking ownership of that. Other people saying it as well. Like comes to pass that she becomes Maul's apprentice. Finding out that the 2 people you're fighting who represent the Empire are former Jedi, that could make you like go, well, what side am I fighting for? Because the Jedi were supposed to be against the Empire. Here they are being corrupted by the Empire. Why should I fight for the Jedi or represent the Jedi if they're able to do that? I'm going to go with the guy who's actually fighting the Empire, and that is Maul. So that could be the way that she kind of breaks psychologically and goes, and becomes the apprentice to Maul. That she sees the disillusionment of both sides, which could be very topical, right? In terms of what's going on politically in our world. It could be subtly a political commentary coursing underneath all of this thing. The idea of, well, I believed one side was right about the situation, but they've been lying to me too. So where do I belong if both sides are lying to me, or trying to kill me or mess with me? That could be interesting to see that as a complex approach.
I wouldn't mind that as long as, and people will say, oh, more redemption, but I would like to see, like, you can use her as a cautionary tale, but then I would also like to see like a bit of a redemption, because animation, I think, has done very well in terms of lessons to be learned, especially for young people. And that's where Star Wars, I think, it really hones in very well in terms of lessons for young people. So if you have her fall to the dark side and become the apprentice, it's not like, that's not like a great, it's not the best messaging for a young person. As an adult, you can understand.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, but I think it could be, because we've kind of done this a little bit with I think Barris Hoffy, right? So it's we've kind of seen it, but I would like to then see someone then follow Maul, but then turn against him, because it's never really panned out. Because like Ezra was never really in that role. He was always being There's like tug of war between Maul and Kanan, so it was iffy. I don't know. It could be interesting.
But Devin never shows up later on, right? I mean, because we've seen Maul past this time period.
Yeah.
So Devin never shows up. So it could be that, Frank. It could be that she, gets disillusioned, go on his side, but then he pulls the mega heel move, to use wrestling terms that Kevin was bringing up, where like he goes full on. Just when you thought he was turning that corner, you thought you could like him, he goes full mega heel, and that leads to her death, possibly.
And that's great storytelling too. Just like back to the Jamie Lannister thing, like when Lady Brienne of Tarth,
Brienne of Tarth,
begging him to stay, and he's such a good guy during the battle against the White Walkers, but he can't change over his nature. He goes back to no, and he goes right, and that breaks your heart as an audience member, because you want it, you're rooting for him to do the right thing. And same thing, you're going to be rooting for Maul. Maul's going to be super good guy number one, or not good guy, but the guy you're rooting for. But eventually he's going to make that left turn where it's it's kind of like, what's that story about the frog and the scorpion, or
scorpion,
right, where I can't change is it the frog and the scorpion?
Frog and the scorpion. The frog is giving a scorpion a ride across the water, and then the scorpion stings him halfway through, and he's like, why'd you do it? We're both going to die. He's like, a scorpion's going to do what a scorpion does.
Am I going to change? He's not going to change his nature. Yeah.
Right. And so many people have died at Maul's hand, or have so Maul could keep going. So it could be possible that Devin dies so Maul can keep going.
I wonder if we're going to get any Kira. No, this is going to be before Kira, because it's before Solo.
Oh, yeah, Kira.
Yeah, because it's going to be before he takes over that.
Right.
Yeah,
that's the other thing I wanted to ask you and Frank here on this thing. The last piece they talked about was a Knight Brothers reunion. Maul isn't criminals. It seems like he'd be reconnecting with other Zabrak warriors. In the trailer, we see a group of Zabrak fighters armed with rocket launchers and blasters. Yeah, one of them looked like Rambo with a 50 cal hanging out the helicopter.
That's right.
Right, aiming and firing at Imperial forces. While this could simply be the criminal Zabrak that Maul has associated with during his visit to Janix, there's also the chance that these forces are actually composed of Knight Brothers, male Zabrak warriors who lived under the rule of the Night Sister clans. Having grown up as a Knight Brother under Mother Talzin, Maul understands better than most how poorly Knight Brothers are treated. While the Night Sisters are nearly wiped out, only a few Knight Brothers and Night Sisters remain. We know that Maul will eventually visit Dathomir during the Imperial era, but the exact time is unknown. If Maul visits Dathomir between his time on Janix, his Knight Brothers could become the forces he needs to help build his criminal empire, or rebuild his criminal empire. That's very possible, right?
I wonder if that also sheds more light on some Merrick origins, because when he dies in Ahsoka, it looks like, could there have been some Night Sister magic within him?
Yes. Good point.
Right. There's a speculation on that. I don't know if it was either confirmed or not, but I think we had speculated. Kind of looked the green, maybe. So
yeah, that's possible. What do you say there, Kev, on this? On the Night Brothers?
No, I mean, give me Rambo Zabrak any day of the year, dude. Excited. Yeah, it looks good.
You turn. All right. Well, let's move on to something else here. What else do we want to talk about? I don't know. We're running out of time. We're almost at the hour mark. Should we talk about? All right. We'll talk about the anime stuff.
So much. Let's do it.
I know there's so much. Let's get to the anime stuff. What do you guys think of this stuff? This popped up here. Star Wars Newsnet was also talking about this. The new artwork that makes up for this adaptation of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. According to Jay Goodorl, the flawed manga, this is a flawed manga adaptation. I love this shot here that you see of this stuff, but it goes into a little more of, look at that cover. Goodness gracious, that's fucking amazing.
Beautiful.
It's really gorgeous. But it's like we see some more of this. What you're seeing is Sith Inquisitor. You're seeing Cal Kestis, a young Cal Kestis, then a Sith Inquisitor called the Second Sister, and Ser Junda, and then Grease. So you're seeing these shots here of Cal Kestis in manga form. Look, this is pretty stellar artwork, I would say. An amazing way to consume Star Wars, especially when you consider what's in Star Wars Visions. This is pretty stunning stuff. And it's not the only, of course, there's a couple other mangas that have come out as well to be a part of this thing. So this will be the next one, the next Jedi Fallen Order coming up. But what do you guys think of this manga look and feel of this? Was this something you would enjoy, would look at, or what are your feelings on it?
So I played Fallen Order, really love that game. I love Jedi Survivor as well. Both those.
He's really good at it too. That one stream where he couldn't beat that boss. Oh my gosh,
I couldn't. Yeah. That
5 hours.
It was crazy. Yeah, look, I'm
not that good. The boss, and then like I went away, and then I came back like 3 hours later. He was still in that boss.
Yeah, I was still there.
I always razz him about that, but yeah, he's the expert on that game, so he should.
Fallen Order. I was reading this article because I haven't read the manga, but the artwork, yes, is phenomenal, and it also doesn't really surprise me that Star Wars art can look as good as this, especially given that game and the time period and the characters, and just how kind of mangas are illustrated to begin with. So I love looking at this artwork. I know, they say that there's certain parts of the story that just don't transfer over from a video game playing narrative standpoint to how you would tell it in a manga. So I think that's fine. And I would guess most people who pick this up have probably played the game, and so they can also fill in the gaps or connect the dots where it may not do that in the manga itself. But you're going to look at phenomenal artwork and take you. It'll take you back to when you play the game.
Yeah, I think so too. Kevin, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, any sort of, like you said, in consuming any sort of Star Wars media with like a new style is cool. And I've seen like some cool manga before. I remember tracking it down like back when there was like original trilogy stuff, like long time ago. And it was always really cool. Is this going to be in English, or is it only in because I saw the panels you showed didn't have English in them.
Yeah, no, they're Japanese. Yeah, there were other manga before. The Star Wars The High Republic Edge of Balance was a manga, and the Star Wars Path of Lightsaber, which I think you're talking about. This person loved them.
They have Lost Stars as a manga. That's a great novel, by the way.
Yeah.
It's my second favorite novel behind Darth Plagueis.
Yeah, shout out to Carlos Sordo too in the chat. He has one, so
that's awesome.
This is apparently the first volume of manga that are being released here coming up. So that's kind of how they're going. They're going to be releasing them a little bit at a time. It's broken up into multiple volumes. It's called the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order Manga Volume 1. It adapts early portions of the 2019 game from Respawn Entertainment. And that's what it does there in how it's approached. So you're going to get multiple volumes of it that are connected to the story, but also telling their own kind of storylines or subplots throughout this whole thing. So yeah, it looks like it's only in Japanese, but I'm sure there'll be some version of it to come out in English, for God's sake.
Oh yeah.
I would be very surprised. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see for sure on that. All right, let's move on to this situation. I don't know what you guys have to say about this, but there's a little monopoly going on here with Star Wars. Monopoly Star Wars.
Monopoly? I love that game.
Hello. Yeah, Heroes versus Villains video game announced. Coming out in June. Ubisoft has been quietly working on a new take on the Monopoly board game centered on the galaxy far, far away. Monopoly Star Wars Heroes versus Villains will take fans across the entire Skywalker saga and beyond, representing the most iconic characters across the 9 movies, plus plenty of spin-off characters in a battle between the dark side and the light. There was a short teaser trailer, which I cannot play I don't think. Well, maybe I can play it in sections.
It doesn't even really show anything.
It doesn't show
Just-
anything. All right, never
It's just
mind.
words.
In
Yeah, that's pretty much it. You saw
Well,
it.
let's just hope I don't play my daughter. She has Bluey Monopoly, and she whooped my ass in it. Whooped my and again, it's very unforgiving when it's like a kid's version of it. Like you get like
yeah.
she just landed on every property, spotted all, and just whooped my ass with Bluey. So
Yeah.
but Star Wars Monopoly, that's awesome. Yeah, I remember Star Wars Trivial Pursuit, and they had Star Wars Monopoly back in the day. This is
Yeah.
going to be cool. It's like in video game form. Is this for consoles too?
It seems
is
like,
for consoles.
yeah, it's going to have multiple skins based on the appearance throughout the franchise of these characters. Palpatine will have both his traditional Emperor robes and his Sith Eternal attire. Darth Vader will appear as Anakin Skywalker before being put in the armor in each character's new sets of abilities. So there's shots here of the game.
No, that's cool.
It's weird to me. I have a hard time playing it.
Oh, no,
Yeah, it's going to be released
there it is.
for PlayStation 5, Microsoft Windows, Xbox Series S, Nintendo Switch 1 and 2, and NVIDIA GeForce. Now, what's NVIDIA GeForce? Who has NVIDIA GeForce? I don't even know what that is.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of goss about it. Like it's doing pretty well.
I
It's really
was-
graphically
okay.
impressive.
I was surprised that this was a console game, not like a mobile game, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I don't really, I think there's the popular one, Monopoly Go. I think is a mobile game that a lot of people play. So I thought maybe it'd be in some sort of that type of that vein of game.
Right.
Interesting that it's a console and that there's going to be multiplayer and online play and all that 2 versus 2, 3 versus 3, whatever.
Right.
Interesting that like they're putting a lot. I feel like something into this type of game. So
yeah,
and I'm going to be very curious what the price point on this thing is because I mean Monopoly for like $60-$70, like no thanks. But
yeah. It will feature special events that can appear during gameplay, ensuring that no two games are alike. So that's an interesting thing to throw in there. But I got to tell you, I have a hard time with this because I'm not throwing the dice. I like that control, and I won't have that control in a video game.
I might have to watch like a stream or two to see how it looks and like what the feel is, and then maybe that might convince me or not because I don't know. If it's a mobile game, sure, but if, like on a console and you got to pay, however much, then I gotta, hey, in this economy, are you kidding me?
Hey, I want to highlight a question in case I didn't know if it was a super chat or not.
brother.
Do you think Gar Saxon will be in Maul Shadow Lord? It would be interesting to have him, but it would be another character that we already know his fate. Like he would make it past that. So I'd rather have others that we don't know. Again, that's what happens when you just start working in this set timeline. You're going to see someone that you don't recognize. You're going to think they die. If you do recognize them, they live. So that's why it would be really fun to explore more, less the charter or the road less traveled in the future with Star Wars.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Well, let's hit the last subject here. I want to talk. I said the big, kind of a big one for last here. Let's talk about Bob Iger, his legacy at Star Wars here. He's officially stepped down. Josh D'Amaro has moved into the office officially. He has taken over as of today. So Iger has stepped down. And I just wanted to ask you guys, what do you think about Iger's legacy to Star Wars? He was head of the company from 2004 to 2026, taking a break from 2020 to 2022. Let Chapek in there where it all seemed to fall apart. But his biggest deals under Bob Iger, he picked up Fox for $71 billion, Hulu for $8.6 billion, Pixar for $7.4, Lucasfilm, which is of course what we're talking about, $4.06 billion, Marvel for $4 billion, Epic Games for $1.5, OpenAI for $1 billion. That was recently. So
that's it. That's all he did. Oh,
how much
that's all.
Did he spend?
Exactly. Since he took over in 2005, Disney shares have risen nearly sevenfold when adjusted for stock splits. Its $100 trading price is up only 7% from when he assumed his CEO title, though, in November 22, with shares largely staying where they're at, though. But what do you guys think about Iger's legacy? Like, where do you put his legacy? And it's hard not to like intertwine it with Kathleen, but there are separations because he did make some decisions on things to greenlight, things not to greenlight. I'm thinking that Hunt for Ben Solo film. So, what are you guys' thoughts on Bob Iger's legacy to Star Wars?
I celebrate the wins, man. Like, think what you will where Star Wars is at now, but like Marvel. Yeah. I mean, he had good company with him, obviously, with Feige and stuff like that. But like, look, if you just break that down, like you just listed like half of the big deals of Hollywood, like 20th Century Fox, Pixar, I mean, Marvel in 2008, which just reminds you, that's when Iron Man came out. And look what movies are different. Maybe Scorsese isn't a fan, but movies are different now because of the Marvel cinematic universe and stuff. So I think that he's got to be on a Rushmore of some sort of thing. I don't know what that Rushmore is as far as execs go. At least he's got to be given his flowers for some of the big moves he did that really, now, not a lot of people, like you mentioned, we just talked about Monopoly. Yeah. Monopoly, having Disney control so much, kind of a bummer, right? Like a lot of people weren't happy about the 20th Century Fox because, like, what happens with Alien and Predator and all that. Like, but so those Predator movies have been good, right? And so then you have that Alien show that's been really well too. So I will say, good job. Like, enjoy your retirement. I don't know if that my dog's having a nightmare. You okay? I don't know what's next for him, if he's retiring or if he's going somewhere else, but I wish him the best in whatever he does moving forward.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Iger's legacy here to Star Wars and his time at Lucasfilm there, Kevin? I mean, Frank? Sorry.
All right. How much time do you guys have? No, I'm joking. No, approaching this from like a super casual fan standpoint, I never really think of Iger and Star Wars together. I don't. Like, as a super casual fan,
interesting.
I don't.
Okay.
Other than the fact that, like, I know he was there when they got Star Wars. Like, he's responsible for that.
He wasn't there. He was responsible for getting Star Wars. He wasn't just hanging out in the locker room.
Right. But you know what I'm saying. So, like, okay, that's a big piece of Star Wars history, right? So, like, I know that part. Other than that, we were always talking about Kathleen Kennedy, this, that, and the other.
That's true.
And Iger wasn't, you'd have to read his book or someone else's book to find out about other things that were happening around that kind of stuff. And so as a super casual fan who, this guy is wealthy beyond imagination,
Oh, yeah.
All right. See ya. Honestly, it's I more of my attention was on Kathleen Kennedy, Filoni, Favreau, George Lucas, the people that are responsible for creating the things, whether he blocked stuff or greenlit stuff. My focus was always on what was made and what did I consume, and that's the Ben Solo stuff. Sure, did he kill that? Whatever, but hey, he's not there anymore. They could always do it. It is what it is. Millionaire going off doing whatever he's going to do. I'll never meet him. I'll never see him. He won't know me. He doesn't care. That's cool. That's cool. I'll just watch my Star Wars.
Fair enough.
What do you think, Rocha?
I think the man I think it's pretty amazing. Like, I think if you study the history of this dude and where he came from to where he arrived, it's kind of mind-blowing. Because, I mean, his father was an executive, a World War II veteran. He was born in 1951 to an Austrian Jewish family in New York City, right? And his father worked at Greenvale Marketing Corps. His mother was a school teacher, right? So this is not a guy who came from with a silver spoon in his mouth and everything was helped along. He's like, coasting through. He graduated magna cum laude from the School of Communication at Ithaca College with a Bachelor of Science degree in television and radio. He worked in Ithaca, New York as a weatherman. That's what his initial jobs were on TV. And in the days when people were feting him for a Disney CEO job, critics were calling him the weatherman as a way of undercutting. How could you put this guy in charge of Disney or whatever? But he worked his way up in ABC, took the minimal jobs. He worked as a senior program executive for the Calgary Winter Olympics, which was the same Winter Olympics where the Cool Runnings film was based on. And he kept moving up the chain at ABC step by step by step. He was a part of Twin Peaks. It was Iger who pressured David Lynch, to resolve the show's Century Mystery in season 2. There's, which he said he regretted that decision in his book. So, and then from there, moving all the way up the chain until he becomes the CEO. So this is a guy who, you can argue missteps. You can argue, as Frank said, he's sitting on a yacht with hundreds of millions of dollars or billions of dollars. Totally fair. But he's also a guy who worked his way up the ladder, right? It wasn't daddy helping him along or daddy giving him the executive position because he was already there, his dad. It was him working his way up into this position and making some savvy moves. Yes, some missteps for sure. But I mean, Star Wars wouldn't be where it was if he hadn't negotiated the deal to get Lucasfilm to Disney and then be able to put it in motion. Yes, some mistakes were made, of course, Kathleen Kennedy, what have you, but they did make a lot of great Star Wars. And so under his auspices, and we wouldn't even be talking about Star Wars right now, I don't think, in the way that people do now, if it hadn't been him getting Disney to acquire Lucasfilm with Lucas's blessing and Kathleen Kennedy being in charge of it. I think that deserves its own kind of like credit for what it was and what he did. So that's the way I look at it. But I'm with Frank. Like, Iger was in charge of a lot of things, so it's hard to just pin him down for Star Wars. But he did make critical decisions with Star Wars, both positive and negative, while he was there, because it wasn't Kathleen going, "We're just going to do this," and Iger's like, "Sure, rubber stamp." He had to say yes or no, So there were elements of that as well. But I get your point, Frank. He's a millionaire. He doesn't
before we wrap up.
Yes.
Shout out to my man Carlos.
Oh,
scroll up. Anyone in chat OG enough to remember Star Wars Virtual Chess back in the day? Great animations for when the pieces destroyed each other. Let me tell you something. That game single-handedly resurrected my Star Wars fandom. Like, two things. First of all, when I stumbled upon I saw Independence Day at a theater, and they test ran Independence Day on opening weekend with my high school at the time. They test ran the special edition trailers, the one with the small TV and the X-Wing flies out of it.
Yeah.
The second thing was I stumbled upon the chess game. Someone gave it to me or whatever, and I had it.
Yeah.
And when your piece moved around, it had their theme play. So when Yoda, and I have forgotten, I hadn't even thought about the soundtracks since I was a kid. Right. Just there was a weird window where I just wasn't thinking about Star Wars. And that's why the special editions, let's be honest, were there to like reinvigorate everyone.
Yeah.
And when Yoda moves, you hear the theme as his animation goes from one side of the board to the other. And that made me seek out the soundtrack that they released just during the summer before the special editions the following year. And so when I bought the soundtracks, then I listened to the soundtracks nonstop, which then made me watch the movies nonstop. So literally Star Wars chess was one of the two biggest reasons why
it was a Nexus event for
Star
Kevin.
Wars Maniac. So does anyone in there remember that? I sure do. Carlos, I love you for bringing that up. God bless Star Wars.
I mean, we got there. I appreciate that, Kevin. That's great.
Yeah, sorry, I meandered a little bit.
No. I appreciate that. It's great. All right, so that's it. We have just one question, one super chat, one Streamline, only one that's come through. Usually we get a little bit
Kids
more.
Kids aren't going to eat tonight. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Father's going to be starving.
Just kidding. Hey, John, WVU grad here. Oh, great to see you, man. To give you all a little love for great work. After Starfighter, what do you think will be the next live action project? Either film or streaming. I've not been convinced they have a plan, but they are too smart to not have one. Oh, I think they do have a plan. I don't know what you guys think, but I think they do have a plan, but I think they got to make decisions about getting rid of these other things like the Mangold one, the Rey movie. Like, they got to make a decision about it and then go forward. But I don't think we're going to see another one until the Kinberg trilogy.
I think the Kinberg one. That's what I would say. Unless like that Rey movie lends itself to they reshot the ending of Starfighter to make it work with the Rey movie, but maybe make it work with the trilogy. But yeah.
What do you say, Frank? You agree? Is that what's next?
Yeah, I think that sounds good. I mean, I really don't have a formed opinion on like what would be next after that, just because it's taken so long to get back into theaters. Who knows?
Yeah. That's true. That's a good point. One last thing, we got to give some love here to Warwick Davis. He received the OBE from Prince William. Hello. Oh, look at this. Look at this. And he's bending down to him. And it all came about, and that's his kids there in the background. Sadly, his wife passed away, I think, last year. But Prince William was the one who started the whole process, because he asked him at a function, at a charity function, "Are you an OBE? You've brought so much joy over the years." And Warwick was like, "No." And the prince was like, "I'm gonna put this in motion." And so now
an OBE, sorry for the idiots like me.
Sorry, it's the Order of the British Empire. It's a very big deal.
Wow.
To get. Yeah. Like McCartney is an OBE. I think the Stones turned it down. So it's a very big deal to be an OBE. And it was for his contribution to entertainment. So that's why he got it for. But yeah, it was pretty amazing. And I did not know this story. He was doing an interview for the story, and he said that the only reason he got on Return of the Jedi was because his grandmother was in the kitchen listening to the radio, and they had said they were looking for little people to be in the movie. He was 11 years old, by the way. And he says, if my grandmother had not been in the kitchen, I would have never heard about it. my life would have taken a whole completely different direction. So sometimes destiny works this way. You know, it's insane.
Well, props to him for that. That reminds me of a story. I was a kid actor, and as a kid actor, you would have a stand-ins, and they always had little people for stand-ins because they didn't have to go to school and stuff, whatnot.
Right.
That was the first time I ever heard that they were doing a Star Wars prequel. One of the stand-ins for me, because I was a kid, it was like when I was doing a movie called Calendar Girl, but my stand-in, said that, oh, you know, they're going to do a Star Wars. They're doing a Star Wars one where Darth Vader's a kid. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. And he only knew about it because George would talk about it to because he was an Ewok. He wasn't, you know, Wicket, but he was one of the Ewoks. Right. He's an older man, but he was like my stand-in. But he was like, he would talk about it back in the Return of the Jedi. Because like at that point, I think he was probably going to do it in like 3 or 4 years later. And he never did. You know, it took a long time later. But he told me that back in 91, 92 when I shot that movie as a kid. So I knew, I mean, and then I remember there was always rumors that like Ray Liotta was going to be a young Anakin. And I mean, we're talking old. Remember that rumor of Ray Liotta as young Anakin? I don't know.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. But yeah, because he kind of looks like Sebastian Shaw or whatever.
Right.
Anyway, that was a side story that, you know, right. But yeah, props to Warwick Davis. And he, you know, it's still a shame what happened. I never saw, in this day and age, like you'd think you could see anything, and whether you liked it or not, I never got to see that Willow reboot or that Willow return. And the craziest thing where they just take it off and you can't. Yeah, make sure you can find it somewhere. But.
Yeah, I know. Well,
I will say real quick about Warwick Davis. When I saw this article and just thinking about like his contribution and all that, I immediately just went back to this memory I have of being at Star Wars Celebration Chicago, I believe it was. Yeah, and it was Warwick and Ray Park. They had a panel, and at the end of it, they recreated in their own way, a funny way, on the stage, the final battle scene between Darth Maul and Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Phantom Menace. And Ray Park is Maul, and Warwick is Obi-Wan, and they even Warwick even does the part where Obi-Wan's hanging on, like in the chasm, you know. Obi-Wan's hanging down and Maul's above him, with the saber, and they do reenact like where Obi-Wan jumps up, and it's just Warwick just like getting like a boost up onto the stage or whatever, and just jumping up and then coming around. It's all very comical, you know. But just like him, even at anything he does, any panel he does at Celebration is wildly entertaining solely because of him. Even if it's some of the most boring material, perhaps, but he's such an entertainer, I think.
Yes,
at heart, that it's definitely like his calling, and so for him to be recognized like that, I think is really, really awesome.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, I would go for a panel with him over Anthony Daniels any day. I think Warwick is much more entertaining than Anthony is, unfortunately. But yeah, but congratulations to Warwick Davis, an OB. He's not a sir. That's the next ranking above. But he is. He does have. You have a little more extra respect, I think, for him overall. But it's great. So
awesome.
All right, well, that's our show. Thank you all so much for joining us here on the Jedi Way live here. Big shout out to these two gentlemen for taking the time to join me here. Frank, first, please let people know where they can find you, what you got going on. I'm gonna give you the solo thing. Go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
Oh my God, take it off. Put it out. Take it off.
Dude, we're doing that now.
Hi, Mom. Also. Just follow me on Twitter, Instagram, FrankieJ29, and then go follow Kevin. He needs the followers. He needs it. He likes the numbers. He likes to see the numbers grow. So just
the numbers. Go ahead, Kevin. Take it away.
You can follow Frank at FrankieJ29, and you could follow John Rocha at The Rocha Says. I never realized that was The Rock Says, the pun on words, for like years until funny. And I'm gonna use this for a moment to just check my face and make sure I don't have it. Oh man, I'm looking good, dude.
Yeah.
Look at this guy. Just kidding. Good to talk to Star Wars with everybody. You can follow me at Kev Smets, but I don't know. RevanTrilogy.com, Star Wars Squad. You can go to my Star Wars channel. Got some KOTOR content there. If you like Knights of the Old Republic, you'd love my channel. And my Stomaversity channel, or on TikTok at Kevin Smets, where you can see my daily journal or daily video journal of my life after cancer. And I got invited to be a featured a feature on ostomy.org. Their organization reached out to me, so they're going to run an article about me in the next couple.
That's great,
at the end of this week or next week, something. I don't know, but they reached out, so that'll be very big. The more people that I can reach, the better. So awesome.
Yeah. Let's compare that face to this face. Look at that face. Look at that face. Your face is doing well. Your face is doing well.
Oh my gosh.
The 3 stages of Kevin Smets. There you go. That's where you can follow me at the Rocha Says, as Kevin said. But please subscribe to the channel and hit a like on the video and let us know your comments about all things we talked about here on the show. We would appreciate it. And what other topics you'd want Kevin and Frank and I to cover down the road. You know, some weeks are not going to be as filled with Star Wars items. So we want to be able to keep talking about Star Wars. So let us know what you want to hear from us going on down the road. All right, thanks so much. Take care of yourselves. Be well. And we'll talk to you next time with another brand new episode of the Jedi Way. And peace to all of you. Until then.